Hey everybody, I want to do a quick live because at this time watching the ball game or listening to the ball game is stressful. The Dodgers are down 5-2, probably more. Blue Jays are a good team, and this is what I was afraid of when you get a team with contact. But that's why they play 7 games. Alrighty, here we go. The reason I want to go live because there's I was taking a break today, but shit is going crazy. Shit has hit the fan. And also, a little bit of news I just did a video on, and I'm going to put it up on TikTok in a while, is about the SNAP benefits. That it seems to be lost on everyone in the media, and I didn't even know this till someone dragged it out. And not even the congressional people are bringing out. But hey, let's talk about Venezuela real quick. We are sending a top-of-the-notch carrier group to Venezuela. Carrier group, missile ships, the whole thing, Venezuela. Why? I don't know. Okay? The Venezuelans have not done anything to us. I don't care what they're saying. Okay? This is a... I don't know what Trump... what's going on. He's... all of a sudden... has a total and absolute obsession with Maduro. No, and by the way, it is not about drugs. It's not about drugs. It's not about drugs. It's not about drugs. Because drugs, the drug trade, if you know the drug trade, if you study it, it doesn't go through Venezuela. It doesn't go through the Caribbean. It doesn't work like that. And again, we're destroying boats. We are, initiating regime change. We're ready to put troops on the ground, and now we got an aircraft carrier to go out of Venezuela. Venezuela, okay, who doesn't really have a navy, doesn't really have an air force. This is a distraction. Good evening, Coffee. How you doing, brother? This is just a distraction. Again, another fucking distraction. Or a lot of people are saying Trump is not, he's just lashing out. He's just not there. He's all confused and everything's going round and round, and he's doing all kinds of stuff. There was one creator, and I should have got her name, but she's really good, really bright woman. And her point was that his status, his mental status, doesn't allow him to concentrate, so he just lashes out on things. And he lashes out at, after No Kings, which everyone told him, we don't love you. He expects to be loved. That's why he knocked down the East Wing. Maybe they weren't supposed to build the ballroom like that. But he did it just out of spite. Because that's his mentality. And Congress... the hardest thing for everyone right now is that Congress has abdicated through the Republican majority and through Mike Johnson, who's just doing that to protect Trump, has abdicated their responsibility as an equal size of the government. That's why the forefathers put the purse in the hand of the House of Representatives. They're supposed to, they are there for the people, and they did it for the money. Now, the original idea about the Senate, it was going to be chosen by the governors, too. It's going to be kind of their version of the House of Lords. Ours was, the House of Representatives was Parliament, okay? And like in England, no money goes through the House of Lords, okay? No money goes to the House of Lords. It goes to Parliament. Same thing in the United States. You cannot just come up with projects without Congress being involved in it. Like that whole ballroom donations, okay? Whatever amount of money he got makes no damn sense to me, because it still has to be authorized for the building. Knocking it down, building it, makes no sense. And I will guarantee you that building will not get built. That's a lot of money that was donated. Okay? And no, he will leave that in rubble. Total rubble. Oh, by the way, if you hadn't seen Mike, who's on vacation, and I didn't know about this, and TJ told him, and I didn't know this either, the crew that knocked down the East Wing is non-union. He found a bunch of non-union contractors to knock down the East Wing. Those of you in the audience who are listening and watching, raise your hand if you think they are going to get paid for their work. Waiting. Bueller. Yeah, they ain't getting paid. In fact, they'll probably go to jail. Watch. Something will happen. The Department of Justice will go after them. They're going to go to jail. Okay? I'm sure of it. Come on. You know it. I know it. And, I mean, because there's no plan. There is no plan. We are jumping around right now. Left, right. This, that. It's all crazy. All right? And the reason he can get away with this is because Congress is not in session. Congress will not be in session again because Mike Johnson sent them home. They are desperate to keep the Epstein files from coming out. And they're also thinking it's a winning strategy. They believe that once November 1st comes out and no SNAP benefits will come out, they'll blame Democrats because they kept Congress closed. Here's a little tidbit for everyone, and I want everyone to spread this around, okay? I need you guys to spread this as far and wide as you can, okay? That there is money to fund SNAP in the USDA budget. There's a $5 billion surplus designed to cover SNAP during shutdowns. It is authorized money. The Trump administration and the Secretary of Agriculture, that another bubble-headed Barbie, is closing it off. They are not releasing that money. That $5 billion is there to cover people's SNAP, but the Trump regime is saying no. Why? It's a political move. And if you are watching live, please give me some likes so we can get it up on the FYP. Some people might join in the next 15 or 20 minutes. I'm going to try to go to 11:15 because I have to work early tomorrow. And again, I can't watch the damage going on in Toronto. But that's what's going on. They have the money. The money is there to take care of Americans, and they take it and hold it. Why? Because they're holding it hostage with the Democrats. Because Trump says we're not going to negotiate. We won't talk till you open up the government. Basically, Republicans can't open the government. They could. All you have to do is remove the filibuster. Remove the filibuster. You have enough votes. CR is done. You can move on. Why won't they do that? Well, one, they always, like, Democrats didn't do it during the Biden years or even before that when they had control of the Senate because they were afraid of what might happen when Republicans do it. Well, guess what? It didn't matter now. Could you imagine what they could have done without the obstruction? How much more they could have gotten done? But no, old school thinking is what destroyed that. Now, here we are now. Now, that's the thing. Everyone's saying, let's see here, Placer, I don't understand how people can support politicians to continue to hurt American citizens because, Placer, they think they owning the libs. This is what it is. If you watch all these people who are joyfully talking about welfare queens and no money and I'm glad and it's going to bring the price of groceries down, they just want to own the libs. And they're racist. And they hate people. That's all part of the thing when it comes to MAGA. But they want to own the libs. They don't get it. Unfortunately, they're about to become part of collateral damage. Because it's not only that. Even if you get the clear ACA, okay, even if you get the clear CR, okay, and SNAP benefits come back on, which I got a feeling even if you did it, they may still hold it, being the cruel people that they are. The ACA will be effective. Already, people had gotten letters saying that the cost of your health care was going up. That's with subsidies. Okay? Without subsidies, you're looking at double or triple those prices. And that's what the Democrats are saying. It's a reasonable request. Just extend the subsidies. If they do that, even if they came to the deal to John Thune, hey, extend the subsidies. We'll worry about the Medicaid and the rest of the stuff later. Just do that. Give us 60 days. All right? And we can work and negotiate. Just do that so people do not get bills. Let's just extend the subsidies this time, and then we can work everything out. But no, because now they think that they're winning. They think they're winning. And that's the problem. This to them is a winning strategy. And they truly believe that 42 million people going without their food is a winning strategy for them. That all they have to do, see, it's all the Democrats' fault. Yeah, but you got the money. I want everyone, please, if you see this, please pass it on. They have the money. Okay? It's in the USDA budget. So please, come on. I mean, I can't believe how cruel that is. How sad that is. Wow. I mean, I can't, I can't even tell you how that really disturbs me, or really kind of bothers me. Because a lot of these people who claim to be Christian aren't. Because you're going to have to answer that when I asked for food, drink, you gave me drink. When I asked for shelter, you gave me shelter. Or are you going to reject that? It's in the Bible, fools. It's in the Bible. I swear, I'm going to pull up my King James one day and do a live just reading out of the Bible, out of Jesus' words, and see what happens. Okay? This is like absolutely crazy, crazy stuff. Okay? I wish sometimes that we didn't live in this timeline. It's ridiculous that what people have to deal with nowadays. It's not fair. And the reason I say it's not fair, because America gives you opportunities. That's the thing. We give you an opportunity to be something more than a lot of countries can't do, or a lot of societies can't. We also had a safety net, so if something falls, you can get back up. Okay? And all I hear today is a repeat of the 1980s, a repeat of the Reaganomics times, the welfare queens. Why should we pay for people to have food? Why should we do this? Why should we help other people? Because that's what you should do. You know, and I'm curious. All these mega churches making billions and millions of dollars, taking people's money. Are you going to have food banks? Are you going to help your people, your congregations get through this? Are you going to be there for them as Jesus wanted you to, as Christianity wants you to? I mean, it hurts to be a Christian. I am a Christian. Grew up as a Catholic. No longer a Catholic. Was Methodist for a while. Left the church when our pastor became MAGA. Couldn't do that. So religion is a good thing. Organized religion is a problem. Because man mess it up, because then it becomes about power and money, as you can see. I saw that video of that pastor shaming that woman because she only gave her half her tithe. Really? Really? That's not what Jesus wanted you to do. And where's that money going, pastor? Is it going to support the church? Is it going to support the community? or is it going in your pocket? Is it going in your pocket? Just a question. You're looking pretty well svelte, well dressed. Is your money going in your pocket? And that's why people turn away from religion, because unfortunately people like that ruin it. If you're in here, please like the live. That gets it a little further out, because I do want to share the word, and I'll repeat it again. The reason SNAP benefits are closing off in November 1st is not because the government is shut down and there's and because of the shutdown, it's because there is $5 billion in the USDA budget to cover SNAP, which was designed to do in a shutdown, and the Trump regime is not releasing it to make a point to extort the Democrats and to starve 42 million Americans. Simple as that. Simple as that. But they're going to pay ICE. They're going to get their paychecks. They already said that, and even Trump said, I'm going to give you a big, beautiful paycheck in November. Meanwhile, ICE, did you see that beautiful, how tough they are? Yeah, they're tough. They grabbed a blind guy in Portland and dragged him away because he said something bad about him. Took two guys, raised him by his back legs, and dragged him across the face in the concrete. Yeah, right. I don't know what to say to that. Also, in Chicago, they're detaining kids. They're going to Chicago schools looking for children. Yeah, really looking for the criminals. These guys had not been vetted. These guys are criminals. They haven't been vetted. They're people with criminals, and they're lowering the standards again. They're not even doing fingerprint checks, okay, for these men before they're hired and given weapons. All right? I mean, years and years ago, when I coached soccer, I had to do a fingerprint card, send it to the DOJ to make sure I was clean before they let me volunteer to coach. Nowadays, you do a digital scan, boom, DOJ. And you're not doing that for people who have weapons, okay? My Lord. I mean, you can tell that no one, it's almost like no one cares. It's like everyone's letting this slide. I mean, I'm hearing reports about these prisons, these detention centers, these concentration camps. They're all run by private companies. And they're not feeding these people. They're just treating them like animals. Treating them like World War II. Until an inspector comes up and then all of a sudden it looks good. There's no oversight on ICE right now. Because the first thing that the Trump administration did early, Doge, is that they got rid of all the inspector generals. Hell, they even got rid of the JAGs in the military. Why would you do that? Because you're trying to do stuff in the dark. And that's what they do. And get rid of it. I mean, you just kind of go, oh my God. These people are unchecked. There's no oversight. You can watch. They don't care they're being filmed anymore. They don't. And also, they are sensitive. I want to talk about real quick about that raid on Canal Street. Because going after knockoff stuff on Canal Street is dumb. Okay, everyone knows it's done. No one's getting harmed. Everyone buys the stuff. They know what's going on. Is it technically illegal? Yes. But you want to do that, you send a couple of agents down, you kind of harass, shake a few things. You don't send an armed personnel vehicle with a squad heavily militarized to do that. And the best thing was that lady in the polka dot dress going Tiananmen Square on that personnel carrier. Good for you, lady. I mean, you stood up. All right. And, you can see that in Chicago, you can see it in Portland, in Alameda County, in California. ICE is arrived at the Coast Guard station, and people were protesting right away. Apparently, ICE isn't going to go. It looks like they're going toward Oakland. Going to go to Oakland. Good luck with that. Hard targets, soft targets. I've never seen such a bunch of weak ass people. I mean, you're law enforcement. You're supposed to protect us. And you're arresting children and blind men. Oh, yeah, and old people, women selling tamales. Yeah, the worst is the worst. I mean, and again, from MAGA Center point of view, all you have to remember is look up the Republican National Convention. The Republican National Convention last year was known for two things. They crashed Grindr and those mass deportation signs. Those mass deportation signs. There you go. A quick note on the New York election, Plazero, if I mispronounce it, I'm real sorry, made a comment. Hakeem Jeffries has finally endorsed Mamdani for mayor. Gee, and must have saw that last debate. That was bad. That was a curb stomping. That was just, wow. Andrew Cuomo was arrogant and made excuses for everything he couldn't do. And Mamdani just took that and hit him across the head with it. I mean, he said it. I think the best thing he said, if you want a mayor who can tell you what I can't do, vote for Cuomo. If you want a mayor tell you what I can do and will try to do, vote for me. Bingo. Simplicity in itself. Not talking about all the policies and stuff. I mean, some comments in this live were filtered to protect, oh wow, I must have some people not liking me. Oh, I ain't the first. And I'm not saying anything wrong here, guys. I'm just telling what I know. It is just frustrating at this point. We're about to go to war in Venezuela. And I want to ask anyone who has family members in the military, is that literally the hill you want them to die on? For what? And did you see what the Pentagon's going to use now for their press corps? A bunch of right-wing hacks, influencers, to run their propaganda. I mean, honestly, can you get any more Soviet? I mean, it's almost like they want everything to fall apart so they can blame everybody else. I mean, I wish I had an answer for you. By the way, tonight I did a podcast with Mike the Rational Boomer. I recorded it on Wednesday. You're going to see it tonight. We talk about a lot of the same things and some things that already happened. And I'm going to hope it's timely enough that you can enjoy it. Check it out and be in YouTube and Spotify this evening. Also, I want to address one thing I saw. And I don't know we're going to have to deal with it. But within the Homeland Security, there is a new election integrity branch run by 2020 election deniers. Someone pretty heavy that were involved in the litigation, and it's pretty bad. And one of them, by the name of Charlotte Honey, I don't know, but she's like their go-to. They are making plans to, if possible, federalize state elections if they don't like it. Basically, the federal government said it's fraud, we're moving in, which is totally unconstitutional. When she brought this up in a meeting of like minds, They told her, do we have the power? She goes, not yet, but we'll figure it out. The first step is what we're seeing right now. There are elections coming on in November. A lot of local elections, New York elections. In California, we have the Prop 50 election. And to each of these elections, all of a sudden, Pam Bondi is sending out election observers. They're for state elections. Governor Newsom said, why are you interfering with state elections? Has nothing to do with federal elections. These are all state elections. Why are you sending people in the city of New York? Why are you sending them for the New Jersey governor election, to Virginia governor election, to the California election? Why? Because this is a test run to see how much power they can get. Okay? In Virginia, you got a nut running for on the Republican side. That woman, no. All right? The Democrats should win it, but even Trump is making comments about that. Okay? They want to interfere with elections. So what does that mean? I'm not going to go to what a lot of people are saying, that they're going to shut down the midterm elections, send in troops to collect ballot boxes, and it's just going to be over. And when we fight back, they'll declare martial law and let the military take over the country. No. I think the courts will be smart enough not to do that. Okay? I think the courts would fight them at that one. 2, because it's pretty plain in the Constitution. All right, there's nothing even talking about fraud in the Constitution about that. States handle it. Period. In discussion. Okay? It's in the Constitution. States are in control of the law, of elections. What we're going to find is that they're going to try. We're not going to deny they're going to try. And like I said before, and I said with Mike, you'll see, if they go ahead and do what they're going to do, like on November 1st with SNAP, and people get mad, people get upset, food is the one thing that will drive people over the edge to do stuff they don't want to do. You got to do what you got to do, right? What my concern, will it lead off to violence? It's a possibility. Food riots. Remember, that's how, the one thing that, I saw that Bannon said Trump would be still there in 2028. Planzario, I will say this. He ain't going to make it to 2028 physically. What is that? That makes him what, 81? He's not even a fit 81. No, he ain't going to get that far. And Bannon is just another distraction thing because he knows he said it, that everyone's going to flip out and own the libs. I mean, Michael Lars has already done a video on it. Okay, outraged. I don't give a fuck. That I ignore Steve Bannon. Okay? First of all, take a bath. You look like someone who came out of the prairie in 1870 and you need to get 10 cents for a bath. Okay, brother? Just saying. Just saying. I mean, I ain't the best looking. Sometimes hair's a little mess. Well, at least I try to do this before I get on here. My God. So don't worry about that. That's just me. The other thing I'm not concerned about, but the one thing I'm going to say is, a lot of people are saying that they're doing the SNAP thing because they want to spark off violence. Again, the problem with the perception of food stamps and SNAP is that it's only people of color that use it. Hence the term welfare queens. That's an 80s term that they use to justify the cutting of government, because government is too big and people are sucking off it that don't deserve it. Who deserves what? I have no idea. I've never understood that concept. I never did. I pay my taxes for those people as a net, not only for them, but for myself. And I have used that net that I paid for. Okay? How they come up out of the net, that's their business. That's their business. Okay? That's the thing. I don't mind that. Because it's a small portion of what I get paid. It's better than feeding that defense machine. Or right now, letting Trump golf on my dime, if you get my meaning. And again, just a reminder, if you're here and you're late to the party, hey, $5 billion of reserve are sitting in the USDA budget to pay for SNAP, and that the Trump regime has denied it to be used for SNAP. $5 billion. It's not because the government is shut down. It's not the Democrats' fault. Yeah, Toast Lady. It's not the Democrats' fault. It's they're holding back the reserve money to make a point. It's extortion. Okay? It's extortion. And also, they're trying to make people get mad enough to go into the streets violently. Okay? Because again, they think it's just people of color. Last time I checked, the majority of people who use that service are not people of color. Okay? And so there are going to be a lot of surprised people. But they shouldn't be like that, but they're doing that on purpose. And people will say, great, at that point, he's going to declare martial law and the military is going to come in and shut up. No. There is not enough United States military to do that. By the way, they're preoccupied because he's sending them to Venezuela to start a war there. So how are you going to do that both ways? And don't tell me ICE can handle it. No. ICE doesn't even go. ICE has not showed up in South Central Los Angeles. ICE has not showed up in the south side of Chicago. ICE tried to go into Little Haiti and got chased out. Okay? They look for soft targets. They look for things that they can basically, like the blind guy, drag them away, or children. They look for soft targets. That's why they're not going in there. Because I swear to Almighty God, Lord help us. If you go into South Central LA or in some other places and you mess with people's families, grandmothers, abuelas, moms, they are not going to play nice. They're not going to pull out their cameras. I saw videos of when they went into Latin King territory in Chicago and ran. Because you can't intimidate. And they're waiting. So, going back to what I said, he can declare martial law all he wants. How are you going to control us? The local police? Do you think the local police want a part of that? The state police? Please. Again, when you see the podcast tonight with Mike up Saturday, I tell a story why I think it's not going to work. I'm going to tell you, you'll see a tale why that's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's going to make us more of a mess. It will break us. It could cause a civil war. Because eventually, see, the one thing I don't get these guys, because obviously they are not history connected. What's the one things that drove the two biggest revolutions in world history? The French and the Russian. Hunger. Especially the French. The ballrooms. The French and the Russian aristocrats did the same thing. Ballrooms. Feast. Showing off their wealth. Right? That movie Anastasia, years ago, the animated film. That ballroom, the dancing and all that. Yeah, that's real cute. But I'm sitting here as a student of history knowing is that what led to the Russian Revolution? Okay, before Stalin, before Lenin, later Stalin, flip. Before Lenin and the communists took over, plain regular people rose up against the Russian Revolution. The Romanov family ended up where? In a basement. If you know, you know. Okay? French Revolution. Same thing. Starving. Treating people like dirt. Don't worry about the poor. More. What happened? Yeah. Guillotines. I mean, these are facts. This is historical fact stuff. And then you want to pick that. Even the Romans knew better about breads and circuses, okay? Keep them entertained, keep them fed. You can do what you want, okay? Until it fell apart and he couldn't feed the people, that's when things start to fall apart. And you go way back, you won't even want to really touch on it, the Mayan Empire, which was huge. They had their priest caste, which were considered gods, literally from the gods. And then they had droughts, and the water ran out, and the food ran out, and they turned on their leaders. That's how societies crack and break, when people don't have enough food or water or resources, or they're taken away by the ultra rich. They're all laughing at us now. They think they're going to get away with this. I don't think they will. I mean, there are days you just get so frustrated. You watch it, and you go, shit, what do we do? I think what we're doing right now is frustrating them. I think no kings is the thing. Speaking out bothers them. It's standing up to ICE bothers them, even though they think they're winning. What we need to do is get back in power so we can start doing oversights and drag these people out into the light. Turn the light on in this room full of cockroaches and make them answer for it. See, they think they can get away with it right now because no one's there to stop them. Eventually, they're going to run out of time. Regimes like this normally never last. They die horribly. They always end badly. So my point for all this is I'm going to bring this to a close because, like I said, I just want to do a quick 45 minutes, see how bad the Dodgers got toasted today, and move on to the next day. And if I can give you guys any kind of hope, any kind of hope, because there's always hope, okay? There's always hope. Is that you're watching the mechanics of a regime really trying hard to keep power. Power is falling apart on them. They're losing power. You can see it. You can smell it. You can smell the flop sweat. Also, let's be honest. Donald Trump is not doing well physically. He's not. And the one thing that, with all the Steve Bannon talking, 2028, yeah, dude, he's got to be around in 2028 for that to happen. And I don't think he's going to be. And this is not wishing that on him. You could just see it. Father Time is undefeated, guys. Okay? Trust me. I used to be able to go up and down ladders as a big guy. I used to work hard. Now I can't get across the room with my knees creaking or hurting. Okay? Father Time is undefeated. Genetics help you, but you could see it. And also, I don't know if you can see this, and I'll move the camera here, okay? I want you to see this. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah. This is a bruise. Okay, you see it? All right. The reason I'm showing you that I got that a week ago doing a cardiogram. They had to do contrast, so they had to use an IV. Okay? That's just me, and I don't bruise or bleed that bad. Okay? And I'm bringing it up because on the back of Trump's hand is bruises like that. It's a bruise like that. Why? Because they're pumping something in him to keep him up and running. They're IVing him to keep him up and running. All right? Honestly. And so what is that saying? It means that all of these things are rushing because he's trying to get it done before his time. All right? And that brings me back to the last thing I'm going to talk about real quick. What happens if that happens? Okay? Aside from all the jokes about champagne on ice, blah, 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 what does that mean for the political landscape? Okay. I will tell you again, as I said before, J.D. Vance cannot hold that together. No one's going to be able to hold that together. Plans to look near his shoulder. He has a port. He has an IV port. He has a shunt. Ooh. If you can see here, Plaza 03 says look near his shoulder. He has a port now. That's a shunt. Ooh. That's not good. That explains a lot. Ooh, okay. So if the inevitable happens, inevitable, because we all, regardless, don't like to think about it. I don't like to think about it, but it happens. If the inevitable happens, apart from, I will say this, when the inevitable happens, we all got to go deep breath, take a moment, because they're going to flip the fuck out. Okay, you thought it was bad with Charlie Kirk and them going after everybody. They will go insane. It's literally going to be overturning a mound of red ants, fire ants. And what do? You run. Back away till they all spread and go their separate ways. Psychotic, okay? That's the one thing. We can have our secret celebration, but they just flipped out with Charlie Kirk. If that happens, we all have to go, that's really bad. I'm really sorry for you. We have to do that at first because the aftermath is going to be very interesting because Vance will become president, but he's not going to be able to hold this coalition together. He's a tech bro. And honestly, MAGA hates tech bros. They don't like Elon Musk anymore because he talks down to him. You think Peter Thiel is going to appeal to him? All the tech bros know it's not going to work. And he's going to have time holding coalition together. And the reason that the Republicans in the House and the Senate are doing what they're doing, especially even senators will go, this is not a good thing, can we negotiate? But they won't do anything about it because they fear Trump. They fear him. He has a hold on him. I mean, dear God, they had that meeting in the Rose Garden. That's now cement. And what did he give them? He gave them goodie bags of Trump merch. And they love it. That's what he can do. J.D. Vance can't do that. It would be a mess. And Vance cannot intimidate Congress. He can't intimidate senators, especially senators, because they serve with him and they don't like the man. And so what I'm saying is, I don't care what Steve Bannon says. Unless they're going to reanimate him, he's not going to be around 28. I don't know if he's going to make it to next November. Honestly. And again, if you're going about ready to go reporting this, look at the facts. Do I want him to pass away? As one human to another? No. Honestly, it's not fun, especially if you got physical problems. All right? If you're aware of it. I don't think he's aware of it, but that being said. But he is the frickin' gorilla glue to the MAGA movement. All the things they worked for 40 years were not working, honestly. Kind of getting there, but not going till they found the con man they needed. And he sold it. A man who does not care about the Constitution of government. Understand, Reagan cared about the Constitution and government. Bush's cared about the Constitution and government. Okay? Most Republicans cared about the Constitution and the government. They wanted to do stuff, but they were afraid of violating the Constitution. They got a hold of Trump and his ilk, who had been pushing for fuck the Constitution, we'll do what we want. And they got him up in power, and Trump said, fuck the Constitution, it's about me. And you follow me, we're going to do all this together as long as I get the majority cut. That's a mob boss stuff. You be my, you be my earners, and I'll get you there. And he did. And he's the only one holding this shit together. period. So what I'm saying is, this is not looking good right now. Fucking sucks. Every day you listen to people or hear people and you go, Jesus, get me off this timeline, please. But it's not going to last because the glue is getting old. The glue is starting to look crusty. You know what I'm talking about. If you're a construction guy, you know what I'm talking about. It's starting to get crusty and weak and bend and break. And when it goes and it collapses, you're not going to be able to put it back together the same way. It's impossible. So what I'm saying to everyone, keep the pressure up because you can see it in their faces in desperation. Can it get worse? Oh, yeah. God, yes. I'm sorry. It's truth. I mean, Mike in a video said, when are Republicans are going to stand up to them? They're not. Let's all be freaking blunt. The Republican Party belongs to Trump. The Republican Party wants nothing to do for Americans or America. It's Trump. They do not serve Americans or their constituents in their districts or as a whole. They serve Trump. Period. That's why when they talk about the No Kings protest or people protesting, they say that you're not American. Why? Because you're not talking nice about Donald Trump. You don't understand him. You don't see what he's trying to do. Blah, 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 blah. He has that hold on him. So there is no bottom line for Republicans. And brings me back to the last point I'll make, and then I'm going to make this, call this a night. And thank you for coming and listening. I really appreciate it. Still can't get guests. Maybe the next time I will be, but that's when the longer one comes on. But the redistricting thing, okay? It's going to pass in California. I don't care what the Trump administration will do. It's going to already pass in Texas and all that. And everyone's afraid of what's going to happen when the Supreme Court basically ends the Voter Rights Act, which they will. That's coming. But then they said it's over. Republicans will control the House and Senate for centuries. There's only one problem with that. The Republican Party has tied themselves to Trump. Even if you run Republican candidates, what are you going to be for? Culture wars again? If everything's falling apart, what are you going to support? More falling apart? More performative? You don't, what you're doing will not sell to the electorate at that time. Just because you do a Republican, it doesn't mean that they're going to take. Look at the town halls, okay? And that's the thing. If the Democratic Party gets rid of their leadership, which I think the next set of elections are going to deal with that, as candidates that the DNC does not support go the way of the dodo and they have to change their ways, all the Democratic Party has to do is run everyone in these districts, period, no matter what it is. No matter the chance of winning or losing, you got to fight. Remember, Marjorie Taylor Greene got her seat the first time with no opposition. We can't have that. That's how they really win, okay? But the Republican Party is going to be running in those elections are not what they think it is. And I don't think Republican voters are going to hang on to that anymore because they're about to feel the sting of what they voted for and what's going on and how much money they're losing. And farmers and ranchers, hey, the bad thing about it is you may not have a farm or a ranch to do anything else again, but you learned, and you were going to keep learning. So I'm not panicking about that to an extent because I think the political landscape will change. The whole landscape will totally be different at that time for that to go. The one thing I am totally concerned about, if we're talking about Supreme Court decisions, is them revisiting same-sex marriage and throwing it back to the states. That would be chaotic. That would be bad. And if southern states go after that, like they did with abortion, that ain't going to go well. That is not going to go well. All right? And they're doing it because of that one lady in Kentucky, because she didn't want to give up marriage licenses and she lost her job, and now she's going to make everyone pay. If you do that, I can't. No. I can't. I'm looking forward to the arguments. I think they're coming up next month. How are you going to argue that? Okay? I know they're going to argue states' rights, but you're basically taking away a right of someone to be happy. How is this interfering with anybody else's rights if same-sex marriage? How is that interfering with it? I know the six will make it stick with some kind of whacked out Christian, Christo-fascist bullshit, but I don't get it. You see, and as I end this, and again, thank you for being part of the live. I'm going to put this up on YouTube. I should be able to put it on TikTok if you haven't seen it. If you didn't catch it or came early, that'd be great. You can find me on Substack at Binder38US, Substack, YouTube, Binder38US on YouTube. I'm here at TikTok, as you can see, at RJ12764 at TikTok. So slowly but surely, I've got 200 followers coming back little by little, trying to stay on the radar so they don't clip me. I appreciate those who have found me again and follow me again. Thank you very much. If you want to support me in any way, I do have a paid subscription to Substack. I do have a PayPal account and a Venmo account. If you want to one-time contribution, I would be much appreciated and do even more work for you. Send me an email at kumquat, KUMQUAT, the number 6 at outlook.com, and I'll send you the links if you want to do that. But you don't. I'm still going to do this for free, but if you want to give to help me out so I can do this more often and maybe a little more deeper, much appreciated. But I want to tell you guys again, and also the podcast with Mike will be up today on YouTube and Spotify. But I will tell you this again, even though it is not looking good from the standpoint of, let's be honest. When Aaron Parnas or the Midas Touch come on and do a report, and the first thing they say, Trump woke up this morning, how many of you just go, fuck? And that's what we're dealing with, and that gets pressure. And then you read this, and you see they do this, and they say weird things, and they're going to go after Nancy Pelosi, and they do this, and this, and this, and you sit there, and the idea is to wear us down. The idea is to keep going after us over and over again so we quit. Well, let me make this clear. We ain't quitting. I saw that on the No Kings protest. People may poo-poo that. That's 8 million people peacefully protesting. Okay? And every time we say something and do something, it means it makes a difference. Okay? Because you're pointing out something. You're pointing out something that the mass media doesn't want to know. That's why I'm here to remind you that SNAP benefits on November 1st are going down because the government's closed and Republicans are telling you it's the Democrats' fault. If they open the government, you get it. No, because $5 billion in reserve for SNAP in the USDA budget is being held back purposely by the Trump regime as an extortion and to let people starve. Please, if you have any kind of platform, repeat that for me. Tell the truth. Because the truth is what drives them nuts. when we point it out, they get very upset. That is a fact that their cruelty is the only thing that they enjoy. So remember, in the end, there are more of us than they are of them. Okay? And I think that's where we're going to come out in the end. All right, guys, if you just joined, I'm sorry. You'll find this on YouTube and on TikTok as soon as it downloads. Thank you very much for showing up. Keep the faith, and we will talk to you soon.